1945 USA 1-cent coin. In the vast tapestry of American coinage, few series are as beloved and enduring as the Lincoln cent, particularly the iconic wheat penny. And among these, the coins of 1945 hold a special place that you've probably heard the whispers, seen the headlines, or perhaps even meticulously searched your own coin jars, hoping to uncover a hidden fortune. Could a humble 1945 US penny truly be worth millions of dollars? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1945 US 1-cent coin. We'll explore its unique historical context, separate the facts from the widespread myths, and reveal what actually makes a penny jump from pocket change to priceless treasure. Prepare to be informed, and perhaps, a little surprised. To understand the 1945 penny, we must first transport ourselves back to a pivotal year in American history, 1945. The world was gripped by the final, tumultuous throes of World War II. Resources were scarce, and even the copper used to strike pennies became a strategic material. For 3 years, from 1943 to 1944, the U.S. Mint famously produced pennies made of zinc-coated steel to conserve copper for the war effort. These steel cents were distinct, silvery gray, and quickly became a symbol of wartime austerity. By 1945, the war was nearing its end, and the mint returned to its traditional bronze composition, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, for pennies. This return to copper, some believe, even incorporated recycled brass shell casings from the war, giving these coins a tangible connection to the conflict. The vast majority of 1945 pennies were struck in this familiar copper composition at 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark over 1 billion minted; Denver, D mint mark approximately 266 million minted; San Francisco, S mint mark about 181 million minted. With such colossal mintage figures, close to 1.5 billion pennies in total, it's clear that a regular 1945 penny, regardless of its mint mark, is highly common. In circulated condition, it's typically worth only a few cents more than its face value. Even in pristine, uncirculated condition, we're generally talking about values ranging from a few dollars to a few $100s for the absolute finest examples. So, if your everyday 1945 copper penny isn't worth millions, where does this incredibly tempting rumor come from? The $1 million penny legend almost exclusively belongs to a different year, the 1943 bronze cent. As we just discussed, 1943 was the year of the steel penny. However, due to a monumental error, a tiny handful of bronze planchets, the blank discs coins are struck on, from 1942 were accidentally left in the presses and struck with the 1943 dies. These incredibly rare 1943 bronze pennies were never meant to exist. Only an estimated 15 to 20 examples are known, making them one of the most famous and valuable error coins in U.S. numismatics. One of these legendary coins, a 1943 D. Denver Mint, bronze cent, sold for an astonishing $1.7 million in 2010. Another has reportedly reached $1.9 million more recently. This is the penny that commands millions. The easiest way to tell if you have one is to test it with a magnet. If a 1943 penny sticks to a magnet, it's steel and worth only a few cents. If it doesn't stick, you might have something truly extraordinary, but you'd need professional authentication. This is where the confusion often arises. People sometimes hear rare wartime penny worth millions, and mistakenly attribute the 1943 bronze error's value to the much more common 1945 copper penny. While the 1945 penny is also a wartime coin, its metal composition was standard for that year and its mintage figures were massive. So, if a common 1945 copper penny isn't worth millions, are there any valuable 1945 pennies? The answer is yes, but the value will be in the hundreds or thousands of dollars, not millions, and only for very specific conditions or genuine, verifiable errors. Exceptional condition, red pennies. The highest value 1945 pennies are those in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, especially those that retain their original vibrant copper luster, known as red RD, in numismatic grading. A 1945 S penny, for example, in MS 67 RD, mint state 67 red, could potentially fetch a few $1,000s at auction. simply due to its incredible state of preservation. Pristine, red pennies, up to a few $1,000s. Minor minting errors. Like most years, 1945 pennies can exhibit minor errors. These might include double dies, DDO/DDR, where elements of the design appear slightly doubled due to a die manufacturing error, clipped planchets, where a small portion of the coin is missing from the edge because the blank was improperly cut, lamination errors, where layers of the coin's metal begin to peel or flake. These errors are usually subtle and require careful examination with a magnifying glass. While they add value, these generally range from tens to a few hundreds of dollars, depending on the severity and rarity of the specific error, and are not in the millions category. A genuine double die or clipped planchet error on a penny, not necessarily 1945, just for illustration. The elusive 1945 steel cent myth, important debunking. Some online rumors mistakenly suggest that a 1945 steel penny exists and is worth millions. This is false. The U.S. Mint did not produce steel cents in 1945. If you find a 1945 penny that looks silvery and sticks to a magnet, it's almost certainly a common 1945 copper penny that has been plated, e.g., with zinc or nickel, after it left the mint, or it's a counterfeit. These altered coins have no numismatic value. So, while the prospect of finding a $1 million 1945 penny is, unfortunately, a myth, the true value of these coins often lies beyond their monetary worth. Each 1945 penny carries a piece of history, a tangible reminder of a nation united in a global conflict. For many, the joy of collecting comes from the historical connection, the thrill of the hunt, and the satisfaction of preserving a piece of the past. These are coins that saw America through one of its most defining eras. So, the next time you encounter a 1945 US 1-cent coin, appreciate it for what it truly is, a remarkable survivor from a pivotal moment in time. While it may not make you a millionaire, it's a humble yet powerful piece of American history, waiting to tell its story. Thanks for joining us on Penny Myths and Millions. If you enjoyed separating fact from fiction about valuable coins, hit that like button, subscribe for more numismatic insights, and share your own penny discoveries in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. Happy collecting!